So today I'm walking home and I walk to a CVS. I was supposed to buy coffee and Drano, but I only bought Drano and I forgot the coffee. So I come home and I leave CVS. I see a wig store and I'm like, oh, you know what I meant to do? Live that dream. Fulfill it, manifest it. Believe in yourself. And I go in and I say, do you have any pink bowl cuts or bobs? Like, oh, it's just a wig, just a wig. Just like that. And she's like, oh, no. And then she's like, wait, there's one on a mannequin, but it's on a mannequin. And people have tried it on. And I'm like, well, I pick furniture up off the street. I don't care. So I bought it and she didn't even charge me tax. It was only $10. So there I am. It's, I think, very fashionable. I feel like Natalie Portman. I feel like Agnes Varda. I feel like that one Javier Bardem film where he has a scary comb over. Right, so like full outfit time. My shoes match my wig. Everything has a metallic sheen to it except my shirt, which is very punk. No glasses. That's my look. What am I wearing? I thrifted this. I don't even, it's probably Forever 21. This is Dan von Furstenberg. These are, of course, margiela. And this is a $10 wig I found. And the bag is my vintage Balenciaga First. So that's the fashion part of today's vlog. So, it's dinner time. What's for dinner today? It's a lot of things. There's asparagus, tomatoes, green onions, white onions, kale, mushrooms, potatoes, and grapes. Grapes. So what's a fun topic for today? Oh my god, okay, so at film point today I'm gonna decorate my room. It's not like undecorated, it's just like it needs more. It also needs curtains. So my neighbors watch me change. I'm actually neighbors with this gamer who's like got a life-ruining level addiction. Did I say friends or neighbors? I meant to say neighbors. Like an addiction to gaming that's probably like life-ruining. It's probably on that scale. He literally never leaves that computer at that fucking window. First we thought he was staring out at us, but then we realized, oh my god, he's on a computer. Now we all really sympathize with him. My roommates and I think. We all know a gamer. It sucks. It's are gamers oppressed? Yes. Not by women though. Or black people or liberals. I mean, in a way everyone is oppressed by liberals. But gamers are I think feeling extremely alienated, need an escape, and find this very comfortable world that's fun, rewarding. Games are made to be very stimulating and rewarding, these video games. Things like, the ones that really get people, like World of Warcraft. You can build community within them, you can have an alter ego, you can be exactly who you want to be, and you also get to live in a world where the rules are explained to you in a way that they never are in real life, There's a set of parameters. It's like Rosalind Krause's theory on what makes a medium in art a medium. Parameters. Parameters, once they're legible, open up an entire space, like a big matrix within themselves in which you can manifest whatever it is you'd like to within that set of parameters. I think that's why I like clothing so much, the parameters are legible to me. And it's rough, it's hard, it's dangerous. It's a tough world out there. It's just like furries and otherkin. It's very easy to feel alienated from, socially and also from the rest of your species and even from your body. I would totally put on a fursuit if it turned me into Bella Hadid. But they don't make fursuits like that. This brings me to another topic. I think it would be just so luxurious, beautiful, decadent, not campy, but just sinful, to make a fursuit out of Fisher, like black Fisher mink. I wouldn't wear it. I would have it crucified on a wall. That's like 100 minks for a fursuit. Sorry I'm eating in this video. I feel like now that I've started, I'm not going to stop, but it probably doesn't sound well or look good. And I hate mukbangs, so we're never going to do this again. Yeah, so a fursuit made out of mink. Another concept is a fur coat made out of rats. If you go deep enough into Google, you find one really shitty, grainy, like 300 by 300 pixel image of a fur coat made out of rat fur. It's not even high-low, it's that both of these things are essentially high. They both require such an amount of like decadence, wealth, waste, meanness to create that they're just, ugh, insane. Oh, there's someone on a balcony across. See, I need curtains because I can see people. I'm like, get away from your window, I'm staring at you. Other disgusting, beautiful, decadent ideas. One thing that's really been on my mind a lot has been that one like French bird dish where like you fatten this little bird and you fry it or something and you eat it whole. I'll find an image and just insert it into the video. Maybe right here. But like, I don't even know if this is true. This is just like something I read on Tumblr. You, when you bite into it, the bones will like cut your mouth and make your mouth bleed, but it's evidently such a decadent, delicious experience, and it's just like such a level of like cruelty, such a stylized gesture. You have to eat it with like your head veiled with a napkin. I think I would freak out if my mouth was bleeding. Like every time I bite my tongue, I think it's gonna become a tumor. So I don't think I would eat it, but I still haven't found God. My most commonly eaten food is still fried potatoes. I'm an Aries. What else do I want to talk about? God, this is so hard. Vlogging is so difficult. I like all those like minimalist vloggers who are always talking about how they're just getting like an inch closer to minimalism, but it's clearly an asymptote because they're never gonna hit it. Because so far all they've done is use minimalism as an excuse to like shop for more Everlane sweaters. But I bought this wig. The cashier was like, ooh, as I was checking out, she's like, ooh, you know what? Where on earth are you going with this wig? And I said to her, oh, I have a YouTube channel. And she stopped talking to me. This would be funny if I had a lot of subscribers, but I don't. Let's talk about books I've been reading. Oh my god, first actually let's talk about my $20 fork. I'm obsessed with this brand of cutlery. That's all. Oh, when like you only read 2 essays out of a book of essays, so you shouldn't talk about it. I have all the JSTOR PDFs though. Oh my books I reread, cause he's a fucking homie and sick as fuck. Jonathan Crary 24/7. I shamelessly plugged this book and this man, such a legend, such an icon. Yeah, I was only supposed to get 2 Athenses in his class, but I got 3 and didn't get any points docked, so big shout out over here. Okay, so Henry and June. Really hard to finish this book because I'm never in the mood to read porn, but it's so beautifully written. It's kind of like when you read Ayn Rand. It's nothing like The Archivist by Martha Cooley. I picked this book, Cooley. I picked this book out because I loved the cover. I loved that there was marbling on it. The actual cover, the hardcover doesn't have marbling, so I taped this like the cover sleeve to it. This is a play I found on the Ground on Broadway called The Philanthropist, a Bourgeois Comedy. That's exactly what it is. It was very funny. Very funny. The bitch dies. De toi, écologie. My friends found this in the Louvre and gave it to me. It was great. It was really difficult. It took me a really long time to read, but it was good practice for reading in French. Because I read Harry Potter in French and like short things, like not things where you have to like remember this concept for the next 4 extremely dense pages and then recall it 2 chapters later, you know? Not done with this. Black Skin, White Masks by Franz Fanon. It's clearly like a dated book, but it's remarkably insightful. It's a little bit Lacanian. It's very good. I like it a lot. He doesn't know that women are people. Sometimes what it sounds like. On Violence is one of the best books I've ever read. I'd love to read it in French. He writes so well. Even in translation, I feel like it's 100 Years of Solitude. Marquez is my favorite author now. I'm in the middle of Love in the Time of Cholera, and I read Chronicle of a Death Foretold twice. Chronicle is like stunning and beautiful. This is a fucking journey. Like nothing has ever, like if I could write a book like this, not even if I did write a book like this, but if I just had the ability to write a book like this, I could die happy. So like, oh my god, it's just like, I didn't realize I was at the end of the book till I was at the end of the book. You just like, it's, like, so the book that started it all, like my life as it is today. In 11th grade, I watched the documentary, The Eye Has to Travel, Diana Vreeland on Netflix. I learned what a curator was. I wanted to be a curator for a long time. I've watched, that documentary's on Vimeo, and I literally don't have enough fingers on my hands and feet to count how many times I've watched it just as like background noise because I know every word in it. It not only validated my interest in fashion as a career, it ignited my equally strong interest in art as a career. Yeah, so I read her biography, the one that really like explains her shtick, and honestly, representation is a form of violence because representation always necessitates the absence of the referent. So how can, like, what gives me the right to know that much about her life if she was all about self-mythologization? I think it was kind of wrong to write a biography about this person. It's cool that I read it. I visited her childhood home. It's 4 blocks from where I work. Interesting and spooky. Like literally exactly 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks up and like 10 doors over. It was insane. That it was just right there. Just get off the bus 1 stop early and peek into the window. It's derelict now. But I don't think that we should have, if a person in their lifetime doesn't give so much access, why should we have it? Like, who has the right to represent? Not representation as in like, we need more representation in media, but like representation as in like representation in the postmodern sense. Like, what gives fucking Mackenzie Stewart, or whoever the fuck wrote this, the right to editorialize this amazing editor? Nothing. Human rights are a construct, but I still think that it's a violence that we are allowed to know so much about her when she just kind of invented her own wonderful self. Language is inherently representative and hence inherently always has the potential for violence. Sometimes you don't have to put words to things. We always as human beings have this idea that we have the right to knowledge, we have the right to know, we have the right to truth. That's not true, it's simply untrue. You can't simply assert a right, you have to seize, you can seize truth, which seems to be what Amanda Mackenzie Stewart did, but there is no inherent right. Like, we're not entitled to know everything. We're not entitled to that. That's a very like Western post-enlightenment idea that like human beings are entitled to truth. I'm like, unfortunately we're not, and that is the problem. It's a dilemma. It isn't a solvable. Innovation isn't going to solve this problem. And neither is metaphysics, you know? Okay, so then I read, my roommate's mother gave me Diana Vreeland's autobiography, a much better book by all measures. Am I saying we shouldn't read biographies? Why don't we just find an old person? 미안해 말려주지 못해서 바가지 확